Good morning, class, and welcome back after our summer break. So glad to see that you've all returned. We're a small group. We have a big focus for the next 8 weeks. Group of 8. We're going to be working towards you writing your Canadian citizenship test. I'm excited. I sure hope you are. It's a real honor for me to work with you and help prepare you for this course. We're going to use Discover Canada, the study guide. There's a copy on your desks. And over the next 8 weeks, we will cover this material. And this is the content from which they'll derive the questions for your test. Elizabeth. Oh no, you're not going to have to memorize this. We're going to have so much fun learning about Canada, about history and culture and government and the people, that we're going to use a variety of resources plus our own experiences. So before we delve into the first day assignment that we're going to do, I would like to review with you an field trip that we went on just before the break. And Robert, where was that field trip? Correct. We went to Ottawa, the capital of Canada. And you know, the weather was great and we covered so much territory in 3 days. And we really focused on a real variety of cultural and historical and government facilities. And which one would you say was the government facility? Yes, we went to Parliament Hill and we visited the Centre Block, as it's known, which is the main seat of government. And we visited various rooms, but there were a number of significant ones that relate directly to today's class. And so I pulled some of those pictures, and we're going to talk about those because they're going to inform your studies today. And so, who remembers when we went to the House of Commons? Who sits there? Heather. Yes, the elected officials and our Prime Minister sit there. And they are the body that makes our legislation and rules. There was the House, the Senate chamber, and that is a place for second thought and pause, and they review the bills and may make revisions, or they may make additions and move it on to the House of Commons. So what was a memorable part of that building that we went to, Paul? Oh, the Peace Tower. It's beautiful, wasn't it? We got to see the whole city from way up high. We went up the elevator, and we got to not only experience that thrill of going so high, but there was a particular book there. Does anybody remember what that book was? There was a guard standing with it. Ruth Ann. Yes, it was the Book of Remembrance. And who's being remembered in the book? Fred? Yes, it's people who fought in our military. Men and women who lost their lives. And so that page is turned every day of the year. And then we had our group picture in front of the War Memorial. Wonderful picture. And, you know, flying atop of that Peace Tower was this wonderful flag of Canada. And its adoption was in 1965. So you can see that we did a lot of visitation, and in addition to the Parliament buildings, we were at the Supreme Court of Canada, we went to the Art Gallery, we went along the Rideau Canal. So you saw a whole lot of different things, and they will be mentioned in this Discover Canada guide. So you really are already well on your way to going through this book and being prepared for your test. So today's assignment is going to be done from pages 28, 29, and 33 in your guide, but you're not going to have to read all 3 pages. You'll notice that you're set up in groups of 2. There's 4 groups, and each group has a reading page, which is a section from those pages I mentioned. and you're going to read those with your partner. And while you're reading with your partner, you're going to be mindful of the word list. And this word list is going to be projected on the wall. And I want you to watch for the words that are on this list that are in your particular reading. And what you're to do is you're to highlight those words, because after you've done the reading and highlighted the words that were in your reading off the list, so you may only have 4 or 5 or 2 or 3, but you're going to do a summary for your peers. And I want you to be creative when you do that summary of what you read. You can do a writing, you can do a skit, you can do a song, you can make a poster. So over in the Resource Center, there's magazines and newspapers. Oh, yes, Heather, absolutely. Just your particular section that you have to summarize. And then collectively, when you each do your presentation, there'll be 4 presentations, and that will be the huge summary for the whole section. Sure, that's how that works. And so, you know, just so that you don't miss words that you need to use in your presentation, whether it's on a poster or whether it's speaking, I want you to take your marker, and as you compare the word list with your text, I want you to highlight it. And that way you won't forget to use those particular words, because those words are going to come up as we do even further studying, and we'll go into the meetings if you have any problems. So I'd like for you to take your reading card right now and sit down with your partner and start to read, and you know, talk back and forth, make sure you understand the content. I'm going to walk around the room, and if there's any questions, I'll help you as we go. And then once we've got the reading done and your summary prepared in whatever format that is, we'll bring it back to your peers, and they will do an assessment on the rubric that we're going to prepare. All right, so let's get started.